So let's have a look at the weather. So I've been through before how you roll for the initial weather at the start of the match, but the weather roll will give you a weather card, and sometimes those weather cards give you a chance of rain. So I've got out a few examples here. Now say for instance we have a weather card 4 here. There is a weather check in a six-sided dice, 2 to 12. If you roll a 2, it's a heavy shower. If you roll an 11, it's a light shower. Over here on card 4, if you were to roll in a weather check of a 4, it would be a light shower. If here on card 5, we have a light shower and a heavy shower on these numbers. And then card 10, there is a lot of time lost for the rain. Now, at the start of a match, say for instance we had card number 5 for the weather at the start of a game. So the game hasn't even started yet, but we have a chance of showers around. Now obviously it could rain before the day's plays even started or at any time during the game. So what do we do about that? On the clock that I just showed you in the last video, the timing, we obviously had our hours of play and we had our minutes of play. And obviously there's 60 minutes in an hour. Now on the 12th minute mark, you can see a little thing here called weather. And also on the 45th minute mark, you can see weather. So about 2 times during an hour, we have to check for weather. So say for instance, you had you landed on there for, at the end of the over, you check for weather. Or say for instance, you were here and you went over to here, you would then check for weather at the end of that over's time. So as soon as you hit around that 12 or go past it, you would check for weather. How do you do that? By taking your weather card, rolling the 2 dice. That's a 4, that's not a 5 or 11. Let's roll another one, that's a 3. That's a 9. So you see how none of this is rain. That's another 9. That's an 8. But what if we rolled, for instance, an 11? Well, then that means where we are on our timing, we would get a heavy shower. And all you have to do then is go across to the weather tables, the weather and rain delay charts. That's initial weather, we don't have to worry about that. And that's at the end of a day's play, we don't have to worry about that. But we look at the shower type. So over here, I believe was a heavy shower. So we look under a heavy shower, we roll the dice again. That's a 5. We look under 5 and we can see 42 minutes have been lost because of that shower. So if we were at 11:12 when it rained, 42 minutes, we are then at 11:54 when we're able to start play again. So you see how that works? Now what I like to do is I also like to check at the 45 even during a rain delay. I don't know if other people do that as well, and we roll again just to make sure that another shower hasn't come on top of that shower to extend it even more. It generally doesn't happen too much, but that's how that works. So depending on the weather type, so say over here you rolled a 4 and it was a 4 weather card, you would get a light shower, we'd roll into the light shower, and it'd be a 2, which is 12 minutes, so it's a really light shower. They're just off for a few minutes. It's a very quick passing shower. Now you can see like light showers don't generally take as long as the heavy showers, although there are some light showers that do take 50 minutes. But the heavy showers are probably more average durations. You have rain, it takes a lot longer. It can be over an hour. It's definitely over half an hour. Even like number 2, no further play today. And then a thunderstorm, they generally roll through unless down the bottom the ground is flooded, no further play today. So a really heavy thunderstorm. But this will tell you exactly how many minutes taken off the clock because of rain. Now, if rain falls and it's close to a break, like the lunch break or the tea break, you can take an early lunch or an early tea and factor in that time in the time off and then come out and play an extended session afterwards. So make that 2-hour session longer to make up for some of the time you've lost. But a lot of that time you've lost will be obviously taken up by the lunch break or the tea break. If that's too confusing, just let it go and just do the normal 2-hour sessions. The only other card that I'll show you here with the weather is this one. And you see how this is weather forecast 10 and it's rain. And it's basically saying to check at the start of the day, you roll 2 dice. So before it's even started, you roll the dice, so that's an 8. And this is how much time you've lost. So 7 or 8, 2 hours and 30 minutes lost. So we had it at the start of the day, 11 o'clock. We couldn't start on time. So 2 hours and 30 would be 1:30 when we start the day's play. So we've lost quite a bit of time there. We have lost possibly, well, that's into the lunch break, isn't it? So we've probably lost 2 hours of play on the field, and we've probably lost 30 overs. So we've only got now 60 overs remaining in the day's play, although you can make up some of those hours in the half an hour after stumps at 5 p.m. So you just follow there. Sometimes there's a thing to do after you've, like on this one, after if you roll a no play today, a 2 or a 3, this will tell you what the next weather card is for the next day. So basically, that's how you work it. You roll twice per hour on the 12th and the 45 minute, or when you pass over that at the end of that over, you roll on the card and you get the amount of weather. Now, there is some weather that is not going to have any at all. I'm just going to try and find that, if I can see any. Oh, here we go. This one here, hot and sunny, there's no weather checks necessary, so you don't even have to worry about it. Now, what do I like to do, because I tend to forget, I just do it all before the day's play. Roll them before the day's play. It's not realistic to do that because you don't know when a storm's going to come in. It takes away some of the suspense. But I do tend to forget rolling for the weather sometimes because I don't use this clock. I do it on an Excel when I do it. So now, before the day's play, like obviously you'll do this at 11:12, 11:45, 12:12, 12:45, 1:12, 1:45, etc., all the way through for your day's play. But the rules also state you need to do it before play, for the hour before the play. So just think at 10 a.m., it's an hour before the match starts or the day's play starts. So at 10:12, you want to roll, see if you get any rain. Again, 10:45, roll, see if there's any rain. If there's no rain, then it'll start on time. But if there is rain and it goes over 11 o'clock, well, then you're obviously going to delay the start a little bit. So that's how weather works with a test match. Now, I had a discussion on the forums about one-day international weather. We do have a different weather system for one-day internationals, and I went through that in the pitch condition things. Like this is the one-day international weather chart where you choose the weather and you cross-references to get the pitch. And this is your weather here. But there's actually no rain delays in the actual one-day international game that I know of. So it's been explained to me that there's none there. Now, these cards are basically for test match cricket, and this is a different system. And it basically, they didn't want to make it too hard, apparently, to take minutes off a one-day game, because then you'd have to reduce the amount of overs. So say it rained for an hour and a half in a one-day match, well then there's no longer time for 50 overs for each team. So they might take, say they might take 10 overs off each and it's now a 40-over match. But what if one team has already finished their 50 overs and then it rains for an hour and 30? Well, then you've got to make some calculations, and that calculations is called the Duckworth-Lewis system in cricket. But that is quite a hard-to-grasp system. I don't know if you can go online and get a Duckworth-Lewis calculation, but instead of making it hard, they've just basically said, these are the weather conditions, but we're not doing rain. Just play from where it is. These weather conditions can obviously bring in some things like the overcast card and things like that. Or down here, if you roll it before play at 10, heavy rain, there's no play in that match, it's a washout. I guess if you wanted to, and I'll probably do that, I mainly play test, but if I play some one-day matches, I'll probably try and line these up as best as I can to one of these weather forecast cards for the test matches. And if there are some rain delays, I'll try and find a Duckworth-Lewis calculator and go from there. So, but it's totally up to you how you do that. But the rule for 1 day is in here is it doesn't seem like rain is taken into account unless it's a washout totally. But for test match cricket, it's really vital. You can have a match you're going to lose, but there's rain out there, and you end up drawing that match because of the rain. And it's very important to try and save matches sometimes, or maybe it'll rain for quite a long time during those 5 days. So say, for instance, you lost 5 or 6 hours out of the whole 5 days. Well, that's nearly a whole day's play lost. You might not be able to get a result because of the amount of time lost, even if you do make up a little bit of that time at the end of the day. So that's how rain works. Start 1 hour before play, and then on every hour, you check the weather on the 12th minute, on the 45th minute, or when the over jumps over it. So again, if you're on the 11th minute and then spin bowler bowls, well, that's 3 minutes. But in that over, the weather check came across. We're going to look for weather. We're going to check for weather at the end of that over. So check for weather any time that rain comes up on one of these cards. And if you roll the number on the card, then that rain occurs. And you'll have to look at the specific rain type to get the amount of minutes. And if there is no rain about, it's hot and sunny and there's no weather check, just ignore the weather checks for the whole day. Any questions? Let me know.